Chapter 13: The Hot Flush Hijackers. After their successful hormonal heist, Susan and her menopausal support group were on a roll. Their bond had grown stronger, and they were eager to tackle their next comedic escapade. This time, they set their sights on a prank of epic proportions, a hot flush hijacking that would leave their enemies baffled and amused. Their enemy, once again, was none other than the nosy neighbor, Mrs. Pritchard. She had been gloating about her recent victory, believing that she had successfully outwitted the menopausal women. Little did she know that Susan and her friends were ready to strike back in the most unconventional way. The group gathered in Susan's living room, armed with fans, feather boas, and an assortment of brightly colored wigs. They had carefully planned their hot flash hijacking, which involved creating a hilarious spectacle that would draw Mrs. Pritchard's attention. As the sun dipped below the horizon and darkness settled over the neighborhood, Susan and her friends donned their disguises. Susan wore a fiery red wig that resembled a burst of flames, while the others sported wigs in various shades of orange and pink. With fans in hand, they looked like a squad of outrageous superheroes. Their mission began as they stealthily approached Mrs. Pritchard's house. Susan, who had assumed the role of the leader once again, signaled for the group to fan themselves vigorously. The fans created a whirlwind of colorful wigs and fluttering boas, making the women look like a tornado of hot flushes. As they unleashed their hot flush attack, they couldn't help but burst into fits of laughter. They staggered, pretended to fan themselves furiously, and dramatically exclaimed, "Oh, the heat! The heat is unbearable!" The exaggerated performance was both hilarious and absurd. Inside her house, Mrs. Pritchard was drawn to the spectacle unfolding outside her window. She watched in disbelief as her neighbors appeared to be caught in the midst of a simultaneous hot flash epidemic. Their antics were so over the top that she couldn't contain her laughter, believing it to be a neighborhood prank. The menopausal women continued their performance, making exaggerated complaints about the intensity of their hot flashes and pretending to douse themselves with water from nearby garden hoses. Their hijacking was a riotous success, leaving Mrs. Pritchard in stitches and unable to comprehend the comedic chaos. Once their mission was accomplished, the women regrouped at Susan's house, breathless from laughter and satisfaction. They had managed to exact revenge on Mrs. Pritchard while turning the tables on her with their zany hot flash hijacking. As they shared stories and memories of their hilarious escapade, Susan couldn't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude for her menopausal friends. Through their laughter, camaraderie, and a healthy dose of absurdity, they had not only found a way to cope with the challenges of menopause but also discovered the joy of mischief and friendship in the most unexpected places. With their hot flash hijacking behind them, Susan and her menopausal group were ready for whatever the future held. They knew that their bond was unbreakable and that their shared laughter would continue to light up their menopausal journey, one outrageous adventure at a time.